companies look ahead, what's the best advice that you'd give them at this point?
Volatility, disruption is here to stay. Now's the time to do it. Now's the time to actually grasp the opportunity to start thinking about how to build more resilience, how to build more of these structures, because it's going to become a competitive differentiator for companies going forward. And the earlier companies recognize this, the better they're set up for the future.
In today's world, one thing is certain, that change is never far away. Today's conversation focuses on navigating risk, helping you develop an agile, resilient organization that doesn't just survive in change, but that can thrive in it. We have a really special guest, Philip Dowling. He brings with him a wealth of incredible experience working with some of the world's biggest companies, helping them thrive in volatility. So settle in for this conversation. I think you're going to enjoy it. Philip, welcome. Hello.
Hello, hello. Nice to see you.
It is so good to see you. I'm excited for this conversation.
So am I.
Philip, you have phenomenal experience really working with companies all around the world, and I know that you help them grow and you help them develop marketing strategy, but you also help them navigate volatility and manage disruption and handle risk. And so before we dig into all of that, I'd love to ask, what's your personal attitude to risk?
It's a good question. It's on my screensaver, actually. It's our company philosophy a bit too, is championing the bold. If there's a time of disruption and volatility, you need to lean in. So if there's a risky situation, obviously you need to evaluate it, look at it, but it's typically also a point in time where you can really lean in and get something done. So seizing that moment and then championing the bold is, I think, something that I try to do. I try to tell my clients to do, and I think that has been successful for many clients so far.
Champion the bold. I'm not lying when I tell you this. We have a page, a personal page at Google, and my personal title I have, Be Bold.
Oh, there you go.
We are not far apart on our personal philosophy. I guess risk and volatility are not new, but maybe the way companies have had to handle risk and volatility has changed. So historically, I'm curious, how do you think companies used to handle risk versus how they do now?
I think in the past, risk was more predictable, or disruption was more predictable. Things didn't move as fast. If something happened in one area of the world, until that reached another area of the world, it took months, but now it happens in potentially seconds. So that requires a different approach that can't be planned out, that can't be forecasted, that can't be scenario planned to the last decimal point. I think today it requires a much more agile marketing model, agile growth model. So in the past, you were able to kind of come up with 3, 4, 5 different scenarios to kind of expect what you need to change if a certain action happened in the market. But now that those actions are happening every day, it becomes too hard to run all those different scenarios. So I think companies need to be prepared to just take much faster, much quicker decisions in the here and now. So being much more agile in the way they communicate, the way they digest data and information, the way they team up and get together, and the way they put something into market needs to be much more reactive in a way, but proactive in the way they've already prepared to do so, and are ready to then go execute once that disruption happens. It's kind of like a tennis player almost, right? You never know what shot is coming. Is it going to be a short shot? Is it going to be a long ball? Is it going to be a lob, a volley, right? So you're going to have to prepare in that moment. You're going to have to position yourself that you are 80% likely to hit the ball back no matter what comes flying at you. And I think that's what companies need to do.
Okay, I love that analogy, and I'm going to use that. So we're going to talk about first then what's coming at you. When you say words like agile, like we've been talking about agility in leadership for years, right? We're saying like people need to be agile. But it's interesting to hear you say that I guess companies need to be agile. So I'm really kind of thinking about this shift then from planning ahead versus sort of thinking more broadly. Let's look at the current environment then. What risk do you see? How would you describe the risk that's out there?
Obviously, there are many, many sources of risk and disruption volatility, but if I can break it down, I think I see three sources. I think there's macro political, I think there's technology, and I think there's like the marketing consumer world, where all three that are all interconnected are impacting companies constantly. At the highest level, there's just so much macroeconomic risk in today's age. That might be political, right? Big shifts and changes in policy. That might be economic, big shifts and disruptions in supply chain. Any company obviously gets hit by those risks, right? If I introduce a tariff, a 200% tariff on champagne, the largest champagne producers and luxury companies of this world suddenly see that a major market might just collapse overnight, where demand just might fall apart. So that is a big disruption or source of disruption for companies. But I think maybe even a second layer is the technology. I think technology is becoming so fast-paced, the disruption that's coming from that, that companies also need to constantly think about, what do I now do and how do I pivot? And then finally, I think maybe as the most immediate layer in this, the one I'm closest with, is just general disruptions in kind of the marketing world, the growth world, the business world, because you suddenly have new platforms that you can operate with and reach consumers. Consumer behavior is shifting and changing. Suddenly, the way consumers, consume media or entertain themselves changes seemingly overnight. And so companies, again, have to rethink their communication strategy and how do they go after those consumers. So it is from macro to technology to kind of marketing. You see it is so many different layers that my clients have to deal with and thinking about constantly and navigate all those at the same time. And again, across all three layers, I think the velocity of change and disruption is just massively increasing day to day.
What do you think is the current consensus about the degree of risk out there? Are companies fearful? Are they leaning in?
I would say it's about 50-50. I think there are companies that are sometimes a bit afraid of disruption, afraid of what's happening. But then there are other companies that kind of see an opportunity. We actually do a lot of research on this as Bain, and we've analyzed the kind of periods of massive disruption over the last 20, 30 years. If we take like the financial crisis in 2008, 2009, or if we take the COVID disruption in 2020, and we kind of analyzed the companies going into that period, and then where do they come out 5, 10 years later. And we, time and time again, and this is a pattern that we've seen crisis after crisis, the companies that invest and lean into a downturn come up on top. They are the winners that come out at the end. And the data is a very compelling story. We see that companies that do, they turn out with 3x the growth rate. We see that companies turn out having 3x the enterprise value that started off at the same level. So any good crisis, any good disruption is a great opportunity. So the advice that we always have to our clients and our firms is essentially to lean into the opportunity, lean into the disruption, grasp the opportunity, and see where you can place your bets to come up on top and be stronger.
Never waste a good crisis, is what I'm hearing.
Never waste a good crisis. Yeah, that's been it's funny. It's like a saying that everyone intuitively knows, but when it comes, it's hard to actually live by it. Yeah.
I'm sure COVID being the most recent example of volatility, there must be good examples. You must have good examples from COVID of a company that's leaned in.
I think one is, I always loved the example of Airbnb. I think, so it's a business model that lives off of travel, right? And suddenly with COVID, travel was gone. I think I read somewhere 80 to 90% of their business flow was away overnight, right? And a company like that could essentially say, okay, we need to wait. We need to wait until travel comes back. We can't, this is our business, so we need to pause and kind of wait and reflect. But Airbnb did the opposite. They kind of leaned into it. And what they found was there was actually a new market, the market of people wanting to work remote. And so they leaned into that market. The amount of bookings within like a 300-mile radius around the people living skyrocketed. So it wasn't the long-term distance travel that was then carrying Airbnb, but it was really the short, like the near-term stay and the remote working. And at the same time, Airbnb was able to then lean into things that they needed to catch up on, for example, policies around health and safety, policies around protection for both the people staying there as well as the people renting out the places. So they used that time also to kind of lay some of the groundwork and the foundation. So when travel picked back up again, they were in a much more resilient spot. And I think you can, like in hindsight, look at it today and see that they have captured such a huge portion of the kind of hospitality market. I think that's a great example of how to lean in and seize an opportunity.
That's a really good example of sort of a learning where an organization then says, okay, we now need to build new muscle to help us cope in the future. So you're kind of describing how to build kind of structural resilience, I guess. What measures would you say are most important, or how would a company sort of build that resilience muscle?
It's a good question. I think obviously, every company, every industry has different vulnerabilities. But I think if I try to look across, there are a couple of areas. I think number one, having already standardized ways of testing and experimenting in place. We at Bain call this actually experimentation at scale, meaning you have a system in place where you can at any point in time run hundreds, if not thousands, of experiments. And so if disruption hits you or something volatility hits you, you can actually just run a series of experiments and then see what works now, what doesn't work, where do I need to pivot, what learnings can I adopt in one area and transfer them to another area. And I think a lot of e-commerce companies are really good at this. I think and a lot of companies are taking a look at that because like there are examples where firms like they are at any given point in time running 1,000, 2,000 experiments, and over the year they're probably running 50,000 experiments. So taking that, but not just that mentality, but building the structures to do that. So having teams dedicated to experimentation, having a playbook on how to run a standardized experiment. That's like one example. The other is, I think, just having much more access to real-time data and real-time insights. Like in the past, if something happened, like an executive need to like reach out to a team and say, hey, can you do some research and figure out what's going on here? And then they would go off and do some research and gather some data and do some interviews and then come back with like a action plan and a list. If volatility and disruption happens so fast, you don't have time to do that anymore. So you need to have like real-time data feeds, real-time analytics, real-time insights. But that requires companies to invest into data and capturing data, invest into building those analytic platforms that sit on those data, that sits on that data. So I think that's another example where I think companies can build structural resilience by providing those tools and capabilities to decision makers to make much faster and more agile decisions.
So I'm hearing a kind of cultural shift towards testing, right? And getting really comfortable with curiosity, and then also a structural shift, like put the systems in place to allow you to test, which incidentally feels like a really compelling role for marketing to lead on in an organization. Talk to me about decision making. I feel like, how does decision and a company's ability to make decisions help them or hinder them kind of in this volatile environment?
Decision making always has two components, right? If I need to take a decision, the first component is how quickly can I get all the inputs to take the decision? And then the second component is how quickly can I execute that decision, which is also sometimes underestimated. Just because I say as an executive, go do this, until that cascades down into an organization.
It's not done.
It's not done, right? Until it hits the kind of front line, until it hits the consumer, it just takes forever. So the insight collection to take a decision needs to be much, much, much quicker. That's one. like going into the decision. And going out of the decision, I think, again, it's all about speed and velocity. And then it becomes a loop too, because then I need to be able to then quickly measure and see, is it working? Did my decision actually move the needle? And if it didn't, then we need to do something else or change or adapt or double down or whatever to then, and then it becomes like this, again, we're in this continuous loop of agility of taking decisions, implementing, and then adapting day to day.
If we dig in, I'd like to, on the marketing piece, what tools do you think companies can use today then to help kind of navigate all of that uncertainty from a marketing team perspective?
One of the tools I work with a lot with my clients is Google Meridian, which is Google software for open source software for marketing measurement, for attribution modeling, right? And I mean, if in the past, again, like I would have to have a huge data science team to even build a foundational attribution model, and suddenly this is open source. I can just take that in, and I already have an 80% starting point. I just need to customize it another 20% to have it fit my needs. So embracing those open source models, embracing what's in the market, taking that into account, I think is a huge area where companies can extract value.
Listening to you talk about Meridian and kind of where we're taking measurement, and it makes me think of the partnerships too. So I'd love to hear your perspective on partners like Google, like agencies, like, you know, consulting partners. What's your general sort of take on the role of partners in becoming more agile?
I think it's important to make it explicit. I think in today's day and age, it is essential to actually have partners. I think you cannot, in today's day and age, it is impossible to do everything alone, or to have all the talent, all the capability in-house. That is given, again, the massive wave of disruption, the massive wave of capability, the need to have multiple types of capabilities sitting around the table. So the first is to kind of accept, and not every companies accept this, but like the first is to accept, okay, I need a partner, an ecosystem of partners that I can pull in. So within like a single phone call, I can have them and sitting at the table all at once. I think that's like the explicit statement number one. Partners can provide huge help because they just bring much more expertise to the table that some companies do not have. Like the leading companies are the best at what they do. They otherwise they wouldn't be leading. But that doesn't mean that they're the best in technology or the best in process automation or the best in building data models or the best in running analytical models, et cetera. So this is where I need to bring in those partners for each of those capabilities. And then obviously, like by having those partners, you also upskill your own organization to understand more. You can figure out where do I need to build a competitive advantage and where can start bringing some elements potentially in-house. Even we as Bain, we've acknowledged as a consulting firm, we can't do it alone. We have strategic partnerships with many firms. So when we show up to a client, we typically don't show up alone anymore to say, hey, here we are with Bain and with our amazing consultants. We actually say, here we are. And one of the key value adds is we've curated the best partners in this space to actually work with us, with you together.
We should talk about AI. It's the biggest tool, the biggest disruptor. What role is AI playing now in helping you to navigate risk?
Yeah, I mean, AI is a huge disruption. I think, honestly, it's probably the biggest technology disruption since mobile. I think that's why so many companies are focusing their attention on it now. And I'm seeing kind of three areas of AI, roughly speaking, across the board. One is the AI to extract insight and information and support creation. So it's how can we take a bunch of large data sets and break it down and distill and extract the insight out of it to do something different? I think that's where these large language models, these chat assistants, but also like generative creation is something that really is helping companies do transformative things. The other piece is is workflow automation. And I think that's actually the newest area, which if you think about resilience and risk, it's about taking a decision, but then also making faster action out of that decision. And if I know today it takes 15 steps to bring a decision to action, rather than having 15 different people going after it, I can have an AI agent to actually go through that digitally and just much, much quicker make sure that whatever I say gets done in a few seconds. And then the third area, and I wouldn't underestimate the area, is actually more, let me call it traditional AI that's been around for decades, more statistical, machine learning type of information. I think why that is also having a renaissance is because just with the hype of AI in general, compute has gotten so much cheaper, the availability has gotten so much more abundant, availability of data has gotten so much more abundant. So that can also be now leveraged and used in a much more powerful way. So companies that are quick to experiment and adopt, but also change their operating model, their processes, their workflows, upgrade their talent, embrace those three areas of AI, I think will come out on top.
You know, you've described the capability of AI to transform operations and workflow and marketing and measurement and everything in between. So how would an organization choose where to lean in? Like, do you have to get ready for risk everywhere? Is that possible?
I think there are things that you do need to deploy everywhere. So the experimentation mindset, that needs to be deployed everywhere. That is essential. Now, in terms of where do I focus my attention as like an executive, as a leader, that can't be done everywhere. And that's clear. So I do need to, we always, as consultants say, 80-20. You need to focus on the 20% that moves 80% of the impact, right? And there I think is where data and analytics come into play. Because if I understand and can run scenarios, even with like a tool like Meridian attribution model, if I can play around with, okay, what happens if my supply chain out of stock rate increases by 2%? What happens if tariffs go up by 10%? What happens if my marketing effectiveness drops by 5%? I can understand the sensitivities of my business better. And then I can focus on the things that matter most. Because then I know, is my company more vulnerable to a supply chain shock versus a broader economic shock? And then I can make sure that I stay on top of the ones that I know are the 80%.
There's real clarity in what you're saying. There's a widespread sort of transformational shift in the mindset and the structure in terms of testing and measurement. But there's also this sort of fundamental, what I'm hearing you say is that data is a non-negotiable, really, that like you have to have powerful data so that you can generate the insights and make the right calls. Is there anything else that you think is worth talking about when we think about data in the context of managing risk?
It actually needs to be connected data. And let me give you an example. I think in the past, there were like different data sources that could be used for different things. And in today's day and age, I think it's the connected of different data sources that unlocks the true understanding. So that might be a company that has first-party data that is able to then understand my consumers, what are their behaviors, what are their attitudes, what are their affinities. I can connect that with second-party data from companies like Google. And then there's third-party data, companies that specialize on market research and information. And only by connecting those different data sources can you actually start understanding and seeing patterns as a company.
So, okay, connected data, I'm with you. You're also then making me think, okay, if you have to connect the data, then you also possibly have to connect the people better in the organization. So I'd love you to talk a little like operationally then, becoming more resilient to change, being more agile, like operationally, what else do you need to think about?
The key word here is cross-functional teaming. The typical hierarchies of an organization, they're kind of outdated in a way. What companies need to do is actually need to change incentives. They need to change the way people are, the ways of working, the behaviors, to actually create those cross-functional teams. And it's even easier in today's day and world because I can jump on a Google Meet and connect with 15 people from different parts of the world, from different parts of the organization to actually have a conversation around a specific topic. And I think this is where actually experimentation might even come to play again. Because if I now am running an experiment, let's say in a certain market, in a certain area, I typically need 10 to 15 different people to actually go run that experiment. I might need a brand manager. I might need a supply chain expert. I might need one of my partners from an agency. So getting those people sitting around the table, kind of forcing them to say, okay, we're going to launch this experiment. I need all of you 10 people to get together and launch it within the next 2 days as a forcing function that helps with that cross-functional collaboration and mindset.
I love the connection you're making. Yeah, you instill this sort of testing culture, testing structure that sort of forces cross-functional teamwork, which then makes the testing stronger and the outputs better and the decisions faster. So it all starts to come together. What are you seeing in how companies are adapting and using the tools and the data you've described?
I'll give you an example. A large, big FMCG company, what they'll do now is they will come together on a regular basis, maybe even weekly basis. They will kind of look at, maybe we were talking about Google Meridian as an example. Like they will all sit together out of different parts of the organization. Again, product, supply chain, marketing, and they will stare at the output of such a model. So first of all, that's a big shift because they suddenly have a single source of truth, right? They're staring at the same data, at the same insights coming out of like one of the same tools. And then they can have joint debates about it to say, okay, let's play with some sensitivities. What if we increase pricing by 5%? What happens if we invest 10% in more marketing? What happens if we improve our distribution by 2 percentage points? And then they can start seeing together what actually happens if we play around with those variables. Now, the beauty is those are all interconnected too. So you might even see like the multiplier effects of doing two things at the same time. Oftentimes, especially in my world, in the marketing world, like the media part is typically covered by a marketing team. Like in-store promotions is typically covered by a sales team. Those used to be very separate, but you can imagine in a world, if they would work more hand in hand, it'd be much more effective. And then so you again force those teams to sit around a single source of truth, come up with a set of actions that are interconnected and drive a multiplication effect out of it. And again, then if you're uncertain and you want to see before you place a huge bet if this actually works, you can then say, let's design an experiment first. What do we need to? Where do we launch this experiment? How can we get it to market quicker? Measure the impact, and then think about how to scale it. And I think that's the new way of working, is to kind of have people consume the same insight, the same source of truth, use the same set of tools, apply the same standards when it comes to experimentation, and then that also just drives a whole new way of teaming, a whole new way of working.
You're describing this sort of amazing, agile, resilient organization with this single source of truth data and this connected data, this beautiful plumbing system of data that's moving between teams. And we have a culture now of testing and learning and experimentation, and we have cross-functional teams sharing information and solving problems together. And it's so inspiring and it feels so compelling. So as companies look ahead, what's the best advice that you'd give them at this point?
Companies need to recognize that this is the new normal. Volatility, disruption is here to stay, be it technological, economic, or even just like the consumer. That is going to multiply and is going to grow exponentially. So if you don't lean in now, you're going to have to lean in soon. Now's the time to do it. Now's the time to actually grasp the opportunity to start thinking about how to build more resilience, how to build more of these structures, because it's going to become a competitive differentiator for companies going forward. And the earlier companies recognize this, the better they're set up for the future. So do it now. It's here to stay.
Be bold.
Be bold.
Philip, this has been, I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed this conversation. I have learned so much. I can't let you go without asking one final question.
Okay.
We've asked this question to all of our guests on this series. So
Okay.
are you ready? It's a hypothetical one.
Okay.
I want you to imagine that you are the CEO of a small business.
Okay.
And you are fighting to keep your place in the market. And you are down to your last $10,000. You've paid your rent, you've paid all your essential expenses, and you've decided to invest that $10,000 in marketing. How would you spend it?
I would probably tell my team, run 100 experiments with $100. I might need to ring fence a bit because I do need to then invest in whatever the winning concept is. But like in theory, run 100 experiments with $100 and find out what works. And then we'll take the next $10,000 and place our bets there and run another set of experiments. So quickly within essentially a few days, if not hours, finding out what is going to save my company, what is going to move the needle. So that I would try to find that out as quick as possible before placing one big $10,000 bet on something that might go wrong.
Get testing.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. This has just been a treat, a huge beastie topic that you've made so enjoyable and so simple. So thank you so much for your time, for your insights, and for all of the strategies, which I will be stealing with pride.
Thanks so much for the time, and it was a great conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.